As you can see, I'm not in the yard.
Front, middle and end section.
Hello YouTube.
This ready to be lifted up into position.
Another company is using our theme tune.
Got the drawings here, last day of the week for us.
4 o'clock this morning, bright as a button.
A little bit chaotic, but we're getting there.
So this week's a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not in the yard. I am on a ship. I'm going to be here for a little while. Currently in Puerto Rico, but because I'm on a ship, it means I can go around looking at welds on the ship and seeing if I can find any bad welds. Not very often you find a bad weld on these, but when you look at how it's all put together, it completely blows my mind. So whilst I'm here, I'm going to do some videos, different bits and bobs, because obviously we build stuff, we know how to make stuff and how to assemble it, but this is in a totally different league to what we do at Spitfire. You look at the detail of what goes into this on here, and I'm going to bring that to you over the next little while whilst I'm here, and I'll also see if I can bring a little bit of engineering insight or into the waste industry to the different places we're visiting. So the plan is we're going to leave here later on tonight, got a couple of days at sea, going down to Colombia, Cartagena, is how you pronounce it? I think so. And then visiting various different islands whilst we're in the Caribbean. Now, whilst everybody's off enjoying the sun and all that sort of stuff, I normally go and find something that's a bit interesting engineering wise, or how somebody's doing something similar to what we do but in a different country. How do they do it? So if I come across anything that's interesting, I'll video it and we'll put it on the channel. So not quite sure what I'm going to film the next few days whilst I'm here, but if I can find anything interesting, I'll film it and send it back to Adam. Adam's poised back in the UK to receive videos, and he's going to do a special episode, special segment of our weekly videos from the ship. So you've probably already seen the intro to this, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, we'll do that whilst I'm still here.
Dan has got a E21C conveyor. He started building it up. So you got the front, middle and end section. Very modular. We've had customers in the past have quite large extensions. We have to make some additional brackets to go on the frame. However, it can be done. So if you wanted to make one slightly shorter or slightly longer, it's doable. We can do all of that. Say with different end sections, if you really wanted a tiny conveyor, you could get the end, both the end sections, put them together. It works. So all the ends get fabricated, painted, and then this is how we start assembling them with the two main sections and we call them dog bones, the joiner plates essentially. So we've got two dog bones at the end of the middle section. So we slip a bolt through there, bolt up each individual end, so the head end or the tail end sections, and then all of these are slightly flexible when it's all loose, so that we can get the head rollers in, the tail rollers. We've got a central belt scraper here. That's an internal one, so if there are any fines that get in under the belt, they don't compact inside the drum or onto the drum. This scrapes out and pushes it to the side of the conveyor, just drop it out. Makes it a lot easier to clean, the belt lasts longer. Yeah, works a lot better. So Dan's got a little bit more to do for this. I think he's currently collecting the rollers from elsewhere. He's going to drop all of the internal rollers in, the returns rollers that go through these holes, get the belt on, head and tail drums, and yeah, we'll nearly be done. So we've got Rob fabricating up behind me. He's currently doing stuff for the mixer for the Trident equipment machine. So I think they're yet to decide on the brand name for it, or the product name for it, sorry. So this is the mixer section. So the bags of cement will get sliced on these little blades here by an operator. They'll then pour into here, get mixed up with the sand and the water. There'll be a big paddle in there, so spinning round, you'll see in a section when Adam shows you the videos, spinning round in circles in there, just mixing everything together. And then there's a tray underneath, or there will be a tray underneath, to dump the product out into a barrel, ready for the lads to use on site. So Rob's getting all this fitted up. We're going to go over it, QC it once it's done, and then fit it up into the main frame. So that's now got the 118 truck bed on the truck itself. The top deck is on this, ready to be lifted up into position. And then as soon as a couple of the service engineers are back, they're going to be piping it up and fitting all the electric. So we've got cutouts all along each side with the holes pre-drilled, tapped, ready for the electric boxes. So we've done it like that, so they're all recessed in, so that when the vehicle's being loaded on the side at the scrap yards or being offloaded, whatever, they don't get smashed off. The customer specifically asked for that. So yeah, just another little detail that we've added in.
So I'm working on the vibe screen section of the WBT mixer mount. I've got the main sections fabricated already. Now I'm working on the smaller sections which all bolt together, so not too strenuous, with a cover on top. Should get this out in about next week sometime, but yeah, all on track, should be all right.
Now, it was brought to my attention the other day that another company is using our theme tune that we use on these videos. Now, there's a company called Love Honey that advertises on TikTok and uses our theme tune. Now, I'm a happily married man, so I've never heard of this company before, but luckily we are a team at Spitfire, and I'm surrounded by some young bucks, namely Adam, Archie and JMO, that knew exactly who they were, and informed me that they are a company that sells adult entertainment equipment. I'm not sure that's one we'll be shouting about too loudly. So, merciless plug for Andrea. This holiday that we're on at the minute is organised by Andrea. A lot of people probably don't know, you probably should know. Andrea has got her own travel business. She is an independent travel planner, travel consultant. I don't really know what the full title is, but I'll get Adam to put a link underneath. So if anybody's in the market for a nice holiday and would like somebody else to organise it for them, you need to speak to Andrea. So we'll just put her company and contact details underneath so you can get in contact. Now, being away from the business gives you a little bit of a chance to take stock of where we are and what the sort of things are that we need to be doing to move the business forwards. And a few things I've been working on, because I don't just come on holiday. Me and Andrea, we do spend a lot of time on holiday throughout the year, but we're not actually on holiday all the time. We do actually come away and we actually use it as a chance to do work and think about the business that isn't actually day-to-day cold-face stuff. It gives us a chance to think strategically and think of some of the things that we ought to be putting in place and the things we need to do to push the business forward. And one of the things that we are going to do this year that I have decided whilst away, and nobody in the office knows this yet, so Adam will be the first to see this when I send this clip to him. One of the things we're going to do this year, we're going to start a referral and a sort of self-employed sales network. The idea is, let me explain. The idea is that if anybody in the industry recommends somebody that buys one of our products, and this could be anybody, this could be somebody on a building site somewhere recommending this new site bank to their site manager or their boss, or it could be an operator in a recycling yard that wants a new conveyor or whatever it is. Whoever refers that person, and if it eventually goes through to being a sale, done and dusted deal, we'll pay them a referral fee. And this is being done so that we can increase our reach. Obviously we've got our adverts, we've got word of mouth and all that sort of stuff, but we just need to think a little bit more strategically and clever about how we reach some of our potential customers. We're also looking at setting up a network of self-employed sales agents. I suppose is probably the best term. So if you work in the machinery industry, you're selling recycling equipment, you're selling building plant and construction plant, that sort of thing, and you want to have a bit of a side hustle, we will pay you for selling our equipment. Now, this is a relatively new thing. We've still got to sort out some of the details, but if you're watching this and that fits into your criteria, if you want to refer somebody, we will pay, as I say, for any sales. And if you want to be part of our independent sort of resale network, so you want a side hustle basically, and you want to be a bit more active than just saying, speak to this man here, you actually want to be a bit more active than that. You might be working for somebody else, and you've got to be a bit careful, because if somebody did this to me, I don't think I'd be very impressed. But if you can get around those obstacles and you want to be part of our resale network, get in contact with the office. There'll be something a bit more official happening in the next few weeks. Probably come out as adverts on our socials. But it's a way that we want to grow and expand our sales network this year. So if you think any of that fits your criteria, get in contact with us.
And these next clips have got the hydraulic hoses being made by Jamie and Dan. This is for the lifting mechanism in the container build. So these hoses are being put on pre-paint so that we can get any mounts welded on in place before the paint is processed. And if we need to buy any more parts in, that can be done before the last few weeks of the build. We can get that done in time. So, yep, Dan and Jamie getting all of the hydraulic hoses together, make sure everything's nice and tight. You can see them using the swage machine to crimp the ends on. Doing a nice job. Yeah.
Today I'm changing the infeed belt on an E21 with an infeed hopper. So as you can see from this bit here, I've already disconnected the belt. What I'm going to do is connect the new belt to the bottom of the old belt and pull the top round so it feeds the belt round fully. I'll connect it back at the end, tension it, and all I have to do then is replace where you see the bolts up here. All I have to do then is change the infeed rubbers and it's ready to go back in the workshop and ready to be used. Right, so here we have the infeed hopper back in place. They're going to move it just to clean the floor out underneath, but as you can see it's back in position, plugged in, it's been run. There's a new belt in the end there that you can see it's been tracked, new rubber up both sides of the hopper, and it runs well. So yeah, that's me on site done.
This is the van back from site. So Rob has, I don't know what the time is now. Rob's been to site today, come back, emptied the van, give it a little clean out on the inside. I'm sure it's probably locked, so I won't be able to have a look inside. Yeah, it's locked. So he's managed to come back, get everything cleaned out, give everything a once over, and Dan has done his van checks for tomorrow morning already. I think he's got an early start tomorrow, so Dan's getting to the yard for 4, leaving straight away to get to the customer for 7:30. That way, if he's got any issues, he's got the whole day to get anything sorted that he needs, and we're not struggling towards the end of the day, whereas rush for hours and causing more issues. Do you want to say anything to the camera, Rob?
Waffle.
Waffle? What are you scrapping? What are you scrapping?
Hello YouTube.
Yeah, that's going to make the bloopers maybe. Anything else? Anything?
What?
Anything good
What?
to say? Yeah. No? Alright. There we go. I think it's the first time I've done this. Sort of camera like this. Got the mic connected up. So, a little bit less content today from the workshop. Gav is out at the minute, so it's just me for filming content like this. Adam's obviously been in and out doing bits and bobs for us. So yeah, today's been chaotic. I wanted to get a bit more done, but I've had a few jobs or a few customers ring up and ask for little bits and bobs, and we want to perform. We want to say yes, and it's getting the jobs just over the last hurdle, done, completed, all commissioned and done. So it's worth it. The little jobs, they all add up, and then the job can get signed off, we can get the money in the bank and move on to the next one. So I've had a few of those through the workshop today. We've known about it for the past few days, but it is what it is. We've had one of the guys from the workshop off, he's sick. Rob's been out on site. He's done a belt swap for a foundry on one of our 21C infeeds. What we've had Steve, he's been fabricating lots of stuff for the oil company, their processing plant. So he's finished off the last few bits, just little bits and bobs for them, nothing massive. He's done that for us, got that all sorted. That's through, I think it's been painted already. Dan has also painted today some bits for another job he's going to tomorrow, just the last little bits. Just a slight adaptation to one of our machines, just to improve the customer's efficiency. So yeah, a little bit chaotic, but we're getting there. I'll show you a bit more now. So Rob is welding up, now he's back from site, he is welding up the last parts for the hopper for the Trident machine. Here we go. So this is Rob in his little welding bay. So we've got bench there, as you can see, he's got his item on the bench. So we've got bench as well as trestles. We've got one here and one on the other side. He's not using them at the minute, but he can if he wants. He's got his welder there. We've got a spare welder there just for the minute, and then all his toolbox there. So this is a pretty standard sized welding bay for us, nothing massive. All of these curtains here, here, here and here, these can all get moved. These are easily moved for when we want to change the layout of the workshop. So if we want to get through anywhere with a big machine, or in some instances lay a machine going across that way, so some of our Raptor trommels, we do it like that, we lay them going across. We can do, simple enough. This is Neil's bay here, so he's been off today, so no work in this bay. He's got his parts there ready for the item he's making at the minute. Some of the sub assemblies. Yeah, pretty standard. Yeah, all in all, a bit of a chaotic day, not a lot of filming, but I'm sure Adam's made up for it with his brilliant filming and editing. To be honest, I don't really watch, again, a little bit off on a tangent, I don't really watch the YouTube videos because I see it day in, day out, but the last one I saw, last week's, it was mint, so yeah, nice work, Adam.
So good morning, it's Wednesday morning, and through the superpowers that jet lag gives you, 4 o'clock this morning, bright as a button. So I thought I'd come out here early this morning and film a little bit of ship action. Now, statistics about this ship. This ship is Valiant Lady, and Adam will put a picture in of what the ship looks like from the outside, because you can't fly any drones out here. Not that I've brought the drone with me, but you can't fly a drone off the ship to actually get a big picture of it. So, Valiant Lady, 278 metres long, 38 metres wide. It's massive. It's not the biggest ship you can get on, but it's still a big old bit of kit. And when you walk around and look at how it's all been put together, really interesting. Now this thing is powered by 4 massive engines. There's 2 big ones, 2 small ones. I say the small ones, the smaller ones are about 12,500 horsepower. The bigger ones are 19,300. Anyway, combined together, all 4, 65,000 horsepower. This has got. Every single thing on this ship is powered by electrics. So there's no drive shaft that goes to the propellers at the end, or anything like that. Everything is powered by electric. Now when you think on a ship like this is like a floating town, city, that sort of thing. So everything you need is here. So those 4 engines, they power air conditioning, pumps for water, they drive the propellers, lighting, heating, everything is electric. Now, not on this one, but on a previous time I've been on these ships, I've been on the what they call the behind the scenes tour, and you can go into the engine room, the engine control room. You can't actually get into the engine room, which I was really disappointed about. I thought that'd be really interesting. But you can get into the control room, and it's like the Starship Enterprise in there. They've got screens, controls and all sorts, and in the middle of the room is like this big touch screen, massive touch screen, like a touch screen telly that lays flat like a table, and they can touch on it, and I don't know why I'm looking down doing that, you get the gist. They could touch on all the individual systems on there, so they could actually pinpoint a particular pump or a particular valve, and what they can do is they can turn that pump on and off, they can turn the valve on and off, and they've got sensors on there to say if it's working or not. Proper clever, blew my mind. Now, things you don't think of, and if anybody knows anything about ships, you'll know that at the bottom of the ship, to keep it nice and stable, you've got what's called ballast tanks. Now, ships take on water and put in the bottom of the ship to keep it stable, and they obviously take on seawater. Now, there's rules and regulations about where you can take on board water and dump it out. Because if you think, if you're in Australia and there's all sorts of bits and bobs floating around in the sea down there, and then you come all the way up to the UK and dump that seawater out, anything you've picked up in Australia gets took out in the UK, and that's a big no-no for maritime wildlife. So there used to be, or there still is, designated areas in the world where you can actually discharge ballast water. What this ship's got, it's got a system where it actually cleans up the ballast water, so they can pretty much take on board and discharge the water anywhere in the world, which is like a relatively new, recent addition to ships from what I gather. Now, talking about water, obviously they use a lot of water here. If you go in the kitchens, there's a guy in there and he's surrounded by dirty plates, and he's just got a hose washing dishes. That's all he does all day, and that hose is running 24/7. Where the ice cream is, they've also got a tap running constantly. And when you think of all the rooms on here, the water usage every day must be absolutely colossal. Thousands and thousands of litres are needed every day just to keep this ship going. Other things you don't think of, food. When this left port yesterday, there's enough food on this ship to keep everybody going for at least 2 weeks. They always have, when they restock, 2 weeks supply of food. And when you get below decks and you go into the freezers and the fridges they've got down there, they are massive. There's one room below which is probably half the size of our main workshop that has got all the alcohol in it, and it's full. It's full of alcohol. And I think there's one or two of them, I can't remember. This goes back a couple of years since I went on the tour. But there's like 2 rooms, half the size of our main workshop, that holds all the alcohol for the 2 weeks whilst we're at sea. And the reason they do the 2 weeks is because depending on the people on the ship and where they are in the world, you might find, say, a certain country or a certain culture prefers wine over spirits, or you might go somewhere else and they might prefer beer over spirits or wine. So they have to have 2 weeks supply, just in case the cultural and the geographical location of where they are, the people on board might like one more than the other. So that's why they keep 2 weeks on board. Top speed on this ship is 25 miles an hour. I'm not sure how many knots that is. Is knots more or less than? It's very similar. So 25 mile an hour is either something like 28 knots or about 22 knots. I can't remember. I'm not sure what speed we're doing at the minute. Probably not that, because we're cruising, so you don't have to go flat out when you're cruising. But yeah, we'll do 25 mile an hour. Moving this thing 25 mile an hour, that takes a lot of power.
So now I've got the 2 sides put together with the middle and ends put in. We've got the chute coming off the end now, so it's all come together. You've got your Ross mounts on your side and all your motor support brackets on, ready for meshes to go in and finish welding up.
So we've got Steve here, he's tacking up and welding up the door for the container build. So you can see him welding each side, flipping over, welding the other side, as he's now grinding off everything so it's flush. Getting the sheets on top. I think James is going to give him a hand. Yeah, James is giving him a hand. Getting the sheets on top. These are making up the face of the door, so that's the bit everyone's going to see. So all them welds need to be nice, flush, kept clean. So another busy day in the workshop today. It's Thursday, last day of the week for us. I think I'm going to pop in tomorrow morning just to get some bits done, ready for one of the lads on Monday. So far today, I can get the camera to flip. We have got, Dan has painted a load of stuff for a project Jamie and Colin are going to on Monday. As soon as this is dry enough to start getting assembled, they will get on with that. So that chute there goes on the front of this deck screen here, and then we've got a punch plate to cut, which will go in there. So it's been in the paint room today, come out, just drying off in one of the workshops. There's no fabrication going on down here, so it's safe for grinding dust and stuff like that. There's going to be none of that falling on it. What else is new? Neil has got the bag spike for the Trident mortar mixer about ready. I believe that's ready to go inside the hopper now. He's got it tacked up in there just to double check everything fits, welded it down here, and that is for these blades here, so that when the bags of sand get dumped on, that is for it to cut it. So Neil should put that on there. It's a bit of health and safety for everyone else, make sure no one hurts himself on that. We've got Neil's door panel there that he made the other day, and then I believe him and Rob are currently fitting up the extraction for this container build. So that there, Steve poking his head through, that there is for the dust extraction inside that container. So the container there needs to be completely airtight. I'm sure I've said it before, needs to be completely airtight for the customer's process. So another company is fitting some dust extraction to our container, just to get any of the excess out before they can open the door and operator to go in there and check everything. So we're in the cutting room now, as you can see. Not much more happened in here today, although Connor has been on the bandsaw, which I think Adam's going to put some clips in now. So Connor's been cutting the top roof cover for that same container project. We've got the drawings here, which I don't know if Adam's showing them. We've got the drawings here with the cut list. So all the parts are numbered accordingly, so 9825, and that corresponds to all these numbers, sizes and descriptions here. So Connor's been doing that today. He's fitted up the frame inside the container that bolts onto, that frame bolts onto. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed them clips of Connor there cutting. And then he's going to be welding them up next week, so in the next week's episode you should see that hopefully. What else is there? I think that's about it, to be honest. Nothing more. Getting ready for next week.
Now, something that this ship has got, in a minute, see this dude here? It's got its own running track. The ship's got a running track on it and it goes all the way around. I can't remember how many metres it is, it's a few hundred metres around, I think 10 times round a mile or something like that. But also when you look around the ship, obviously we're in the waste game, so I notice these things. Now, when you look around the ship, there is bins, but they give you very little on this ship to create waste. All the cutlery, all the plates, all the cups, everything else is all plastic or metal cutlery, and it all gets washed. There's no paper plates, plastic cutlery, anything like that. It all gets done. The only thing I can think of that they give you on this ship that generates waste is ice cream tub. You get a little tub, you can have ice cream in it. Got that. You can have paper cups if you want to bring coffee or whatever outside, but you can bring normal cups out here if you want. And there's also a pizza place as well, so you get the cardboard box. Apart from that, I can't think of anything else that they give you on this ship that generates waste. So it's very efficient when it comes to waste. Now what they do with the waste, and I know this because I saw that on the tour, it all gets taken below decks and put in a baler, and everything gets baled out. It does get separated into different parts, you've got cardboard and whatever else in there. Or if it's general waste, it will get baled and wrapped. And then when we go into port, there's a big hole in the side of the ship that opens up, big door, and then forklift stuff on and off. So all the waste gets baled, and then those bales get taken off the ship, and that is how they deal with waste on this ship. Another fact I've just thought of on this ship that I looked up, the gross tonnage of this ship is 110,000 tonnes. Now, I thought that meant that if they put this thing on a weighbridge, it would weigh 110,000 tonnes. It's not the case. How they work out gross tonnage, and there'll be some people that probably already know this, but if you don't, apparently this is how they work out gross tonnage. There's a couple of people in the background just uncovering the sun bits, getting in the YouTube action. How they work out the gross tonnage is they work out the cubic meters capacity of the entire ship. And what they do is they assign a tonnage per cubic metre, and that is, from what I can work out, 0.2 tonnes per cubic metre of internal capacity. So if they could just make all the outside and take everything inside out, the cubic metre capacity of everything inside that shell, multiply that by 0.2, and that will give you the gross tonnage of the ship. So 110,000 tonnes doesn't mean to say it weighs 110,000 tonnes. That's the calculation. And if you're clever, you can work out how many cubic metres this is from that, can't you? Leave it with you. So that's it for this week's Tales from the Ship. The sun is coming up just over there. It is 7:30 in the morning. So that's it for this week's Tales from the Ship. I'm going to do some more footage, different bits on the ship, and also different places we visit. And you'll probably see that in next week's episode.
We get the main section, a little bit noisy, sorry there. We've got between the two trestles, a little bit noisy again, sorry again. I'll start that a little bit again. So Jamie.
We'll show it size spanner.
Nope.
We'll show it size spanner, Jamie. Oh, come on, Jamie.
Oh, hair's a bit bad. That's a bit better.
Because we're here at the minute and then we sail down to Colombia. Can't think what Colombia's famous for. So I can't think with it. Anyway, it was brought to my attention the other day that another company is using our theme music that we use here.
Ahoy, sailors! In a few minutes, you will hear the ship's general emergency alarm, consisting of 7 short blasts and 1
Always
long
somebody.
blast.